ready to get started with our strength training class. So for this class, if you have a chair handy, you definitely can use that. You could also do all of the moves today, either standing or seated on the floor. So I'll go over all the variations with you as we're doing them. I have one heavier weight and one lighter weight, which should be all we need for today. So if you don't have different weights, that's okay. You can use whatever you have. But if you have a heavier and a lighter, everything we do today, we're only going to need one weight at a time. We're going to go ahead and start warming up with our normal warm up. So feet hip width apart, and you're going to start just gently turning side to side. Let your arms swing. Don't mind me. I forgot to put my weight together, so I'm going to do that now. But go ahead and get warmed up, get nice and loose, check in with your back, with your hips, see how everything's feeling today. Beautiful. A couple more. Let your heels lift, let your body turn, make sure everything's feeling good. And then from there, we're going to bring everything back into stillness. We're going to move on to our big arm circles, starting out with big arm circles forward. And then big arm circles backwards. Beautiful. And then swing those arms in and out, loosen everything up a little bit. Perfect. From here, we're going to move on to our elbows. So nice big circles just with your elbows. And then go the other way. And then moving down to our wrists. And go the other way. And then wiggle your fingers in and out. Make sure your hands are warmed up a little bit too. Especially when you're weightlifting, you want to make sure you have a good grip. From here, we're going to move on down to our hips. Now, if you're doing this in a chair, you can always just scoot to the edge of the chair and swing your knees side to side, kind of windshield wiper them to help loosen everything up there. But if you're standing, nice big hip circles. And then go the other way. And then moving on to our knees. If you're standing, start with bopping them forward and back. And then if everything's feeling good, you can start doing them in a circle. If you're seated, you're just going to swing, lift your feet off the floor and swing back and forth. If you're standing, go ahead and go the other direction. And then last but not least, we're going to warm up our ankles. So pick one foot up, turn that foot in circles in one direction. And then go the other way. And then switch sides. And go the other way. Beautiful. All right, put that down, make sure everything's feeling good, ready to go, and then grab a weight. So we're going to start out with a deadlift, but only one side. So we're going to do deadlift with the weight in our left hand. Put your right foot back, so you're in what we call a split stance. You're going to go down, keeping your back flat, come back up, and then do a hammer curl. So it's down, up, hammer curl. Now, if you're doing this in a chair, you can still do basically a weighted toe touch. So come down, up, and then hammer curl, or you can just focus on the hammer curl. Totally up to you. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Making sure you keep that back nice and flat if you're leaning forward, whether for the seated or the standing variation. And then the hammer curl is different from the bicep curl. Works the same muscle, but the hammer curl comes across in front of the chest, where the bicep curl comes up this way. So it works the muscles a little differently. You can go a little heavier on the hammer curl than you might on the bicep curl. But otherwise, you're still working the same thing. 15 seconds to go. Time. Beautiful. All right, shake that arm out, make sure you're ready. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So for the next one, you're gonna switch sides, switch to the other foot and back if you're doing the standing version, or just switch sides if you're doing the seated version. And then the same thing, going down and then up for the hammer curl. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Make sure that you keep your head, neck, and back in a straight line. So you don't want to be looking side to side or up. As you lean forward, you want to look down towards the floor. Halfway there, you got it. Ten more seconds. And time. Go ahead and set that weight down, shake everything out. And then from here, you have a choice to either do a chair or a floor position. We're going to do a V-sit with an overhead press. Now, if you're doing it in a chair, you are going to turn sideways so that you can lean back. You can even use the other hand to grip if that helps you support a little bit, but you want most of the focus to be on your core. And then from there, you're just going to do an overhead press straight up. If you're doing the floor version, you're going to come all the way down and do the same thing, leaning back and pressing up for the V-sit. So up to you which variation you want to do. We have 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Now you control how hard this is by how far you lean back and whether you lift your feet off the floor or keep them planted. So totally up to you. Do what's right for your body. We're halfway there. You got this. You can always sit up a little straighter and focus more on the overhead press. Or if your shoulders are giving you trouble, just hold that static and focus on the V-sit. Make the exercise what you need it to be. And time. All right, shake that arm out, and then we're going to go to the other side. So same thing, seated or modified in the chair. Leaning back however far you need it to be. Doing the other arm. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Nice and steady. Halfway there. And same thing on this side. If your shoulder's having trouble, hold that steady and don't worry about the overhead press. If your core is having trouble, sit up a little more, plant your feet on the floor for support, or even hold on to the back of that chair. 5 more seconds. Time. Nice. Go ahead and set that aside. Shake those arms out. Next up, we're going to have the tricep extension plus a calf raise. Now, if you're doing the seated version of that, you're going to scoot forward to the edge of your chair. You're going to lift up behind you. So you're going to do the tricep extension, bring it down, and then the calf raise. So just like that, tricep, calf raise. Same thing if you're standing. Tricep extension, bring it down, keep those elbows in tight, calf raise. Beautiful, you got it. 1 minute, here we go. Remember, you want the elbows in close to your head. Try to keep them pointing forward. Don't let them splay out to the side. That's going to help you focus on your triceps. More than halfway there already. You got it, almost there. Time. All right, shake both those arms out. And then up next, we have twists. So for this version of a twist, you're going to turn your weight sideways and seated. You're literally just going to keep it at shoulder level, twisting from one side to the other. Normally, we would do it a little lower chest or belly height. But for this one, I want you to keep it at shoulder height so that you can focus on extending it or bringing it in to fit where you are to work on your chest muscles at the same time as your core. So the further out you hold it, the more chest workout you'll get. The closer in, the more you'll focus on your core. Just twisting. Same thing if you're standing up. Tighten that belly and just hold it at shoulder height. 1 minute. Here we go. Key for this one is having good posture while you're doing it. So you want to reach up through the crown of your head, squeeze your belly in nice and tight, and let your torso do the work. You want to try to keep your hips still. They're going to move a little, but you don't want to have them be the main part of you that's moving. Halfway there already. You got this. Time. Beautiful. Go ahead and set that weight down, shake everything out, and go grab some water. That's 1 set down, 2 to go. All right, bring it back in. We are back to the deadlift, just on the left side. Now, we're starting the second set, so if anything was super hard the first time, try it either with no weight or with a lighter weight for the second round. If anything was super easy and you have a higher set of weights, maybe go to that to make it a little more challenging for yourself. Adjust each exercise as is appropriate for you. All right, go ahead and grab whatever you're using. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Remember, key to this one is keeping a nice flat back. And for that hammer curl, you're bringing the weight up right in front of your chest. "15 seconds to go. You're almost there." Time. All right, shake that arm out. Get ready to do the other side. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Halfway there. Slow and steady. Doesn't have to be fast. We're working on strength. And the slower you go, the more you work your muscle. Time. Beautiful. All right, next up we have that V-sit, whether in the chair or on the ground. Modify it as you need. V-sit plus the overhead press on one side. Here we go. You want to actually keep your head, neck, and back in a straight line for this one as well. So you don't want to be looking side to side. Keep your gaze nice and soft, straight ahead. Of course, the shoulder that you're lifting with, can't really relax that one, but try to relax the other shoulder down so that you're not straining it up around your ears. Nice and steady. Remember to lower it with control. So it should go down at the same speed it goes up. Time. Shake that arm out and then get ready to switch sides. Here we go. 1 minute on the clock. Beautiful. You got it. More than halfway there. Ten more seconds. You got this. Time. Nice. Go ahead and shake that arm out as well. And then get ready for those tricep extensions plus calf raise. Now again, seated or standing, whichever one works for you. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Nice. Good job keeping the elbows in. Same thing on this one, lower with control. So it should come down at about the same speed it goes up. "20 seconds left." You got this. Time. Beautiful. All right, last one for this set. We have our twists. Seated or standing, whichever one is better for you. 1 minute on the clock. Looking good. If you find that you're getting tired, your arms are getting a little more workout than you bargained for, go ahead and hug that weight in close and focus just on the twist. If your arms are still feeling good and you're loving it, go ahead and hold that weight out away from your chest, still at shoulder height. Working our back muscles and our chest muscles, as well as our core. 5 more seconds. Time. Put that weight down, shake everything out, and go grab some water. That's 2 sets down. All right, before we start this third set, once again, check in. How are you feeling? Do you need to take the weight down on anything or drop the weight altogether and just do it empty hand? Do you want to take the weight up a little bit for your last set on any of these exercises? And if you do on some but not on others, that's okay too. Make it your own. All right, we are ready to get started for our last set. We have our deadlift plus hammer curl on the left side. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. You got this. More than halfway there. Almost there, 5 seconds. And time. Shake that arm out and then get ready to do the other side. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Almost halfway there. Slow and steady, 20 seconds to go. And time. Excellent. Go ahead and get ready for the V-sit. floor or chair with the overhead press on your left side. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. And remember, you can always modify this one if your arms are tired. Set that weight down. Try it with no weight at all, or even just hold those hands out in front of you and focus entirely on the V-sit. If your core is tired, you just sit all the way up and focus on that overhead press. Up to you. Almost there. Time. Beautiful. Shake that arm out and then switch sides. Get ready for the other side. 1 minute. Here we go. Same thing on this side. Evaluate as you go. Your arms may be different, so the other side may have been fine, but this one's getting tired. That's okay. Do what feels right for this exercise, for this side of your body. Halfway there. "15 seconds to go. You got it." Time. Beautiful. Shake both your arms out and get ready for those twists. Seated or standing, whichever one works better for you. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Still reaching up through the crown of your head. Still sucking that belly in tight. Whether you're holding it all the way out as far as you can or hugging it up close, doesn't matter. As long as you're still moving, you're still working. Halfway there. This is your last one. You got this. Ten more seconds. And time. Beautiful. Set that weight down, shake everything out a little, and then go grab some water. All we have left is our final stretch, and then we're done. All right, bring it back in. Again, you can do any of the stretches, seated or standing, depending on what's best for you. And you can modify any to be a little more or a little less, depending on where you are. So we're going to start with taking a nice deep breath, bringing our arms up over our head. And then we're going to circle them through and bring them down. Do that again. And one more just like that. Beautiful. Now, whichever hand you had crossing on the front, we're going to do it 3 more times with the other hand in front. 1, 2, and 3. Beautiful. From here, again, seated or standing, you're going to lean forward and just find a nice flat back and let your arms hang loose and soft in the shoulder sockets. Just let everything relax for a second. Let gravity help stretch you out. And then from there, just start swinging your arms in small circles in one direction. And then in small circles the other direction. And then come back to stillness. Let everything hang for just one more moment. And then roll all the way up. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears and roll them down and back. We're going to do that 3 times. And then we're going to bring them forward 3 times. Beautiful. Take one arm, bring it across your body. Try to keep that shoulder down away from your chin. And then if it feels good, go ahead and look out over that hand that's extended. And then just tilt your head down just a little bit. Add in a nice little neck stretch. Bring your head back up into center and then release. And we're going to go to the other side. Pull that arm across. If it feels good, look out over that extended hand. And then if it feels good, tilt your head down just a little bit, like you're pointing your nose towards the ground. Bring your head up into center and release. And then from here, again, whether seated or standing, you're going to put one foot out in front of you, peel those toes up. And then you're going to reach down till you feel a nice stretch through the back of your leg, either reaching for the toe or the shin or even the floor, depending on what's in your reach. And just pause there. And then come up nice and slow. And then we're going to switch sides. We'll put the other foot out. Lean forward till you feel that nice stretch, reaching for your shin, your toe, or the floor. And take a couple nice deep breaths here. Coming up nice and slow. And then we're going to finish off with a nice gentle twist. Again, seated or standing is fine. Take your left hand, reach around to your right hip, and then turn like you're looking over your shoulder. You don't have to strain into it. If it feels good, you can push a little more, but if it doesn't, just stop right there. And release, come back to center. And then we're going to go to the other side. And release, come back to center. And you are all done. Fantastic job today. I will see you next week.